Hey, what's up? This is Cody the Coin Raptor, and I'm here to provide you the best 10 minutes of crypto content you can find. All right, let's start with our Bitcoin chart TA. Now, Bitcoin has been falling. It's been falling steadily for the past couple of days. It has recently, today, broken through this lower trend line that I've put in here. So what I've previously said this is a bearish flag, okay? And so what usually happens during a bearish flag is we see a bit of a bounce, a little bit of a bounce, a little bit of a fall, another bounce, and then it comes up and it hits its head on the upper level here, this upper resistance layer, and then it falls massively. And right now, it's actually, again, it's gone right through that lower support line. So at this point, this is exactly what we expected was going to happen. In the past couple of days, I've talked about this. And now I expect that it's going to come and it's going to pull down to the next level at about 18,500 or so. All right. And then eventually it might even go down and touch 17,600. Now, the reason why this is down is because the NASDAQ and stocks, broadly speaking, are down. And much of the sell-off is going on because of the CPI numbers that are going to be released tomorrow. So it seems like everyone is selling it. Everyone is selling their assets ahead of this because most people are very bearish about what these numbers are going to say, and they're probably going to, they think that the numbers are going to be much higher, which would mean that the Fed has to keep raising interest rates, which is not good for Bitcoin or stocks. So right now, the RSI, again, the RSI is used to determine whether or not an asset's overbought or oversold. Right now, it's at about 35 or so, which is not quite oversold. It has to be under 30 in order to be undersold. But that being said, it looks very, very strongly sold at this moment. The Bitcoin bears have currently taken control. The crypto bears have currently taken control completely in the market right now, and the bulls have lost control. Now we go back and take a look at ETH. ETH is a very similar picture. However, ETH hasn't reached that target that I put for it at about 1,000. However, it's not far off. It came all the way down to 1,034. So I can see that it's probably going to wind up hitting that 1,000 level here very shortly, and then we'll probably retest at about 900. Ethereum also not hugely oversold on the daily, and we come over here and take a look at our dollar index. And again, the dollar index is going to measure the dollar against a basket full of foreign currencies like the euro, and it has just taken off. I mean, this thing is a rocket. There is no resistance whatsoever for the dollar index, and I'll be especially watching this during the CPI report and see exactly where this falls in the next day, a couple days of trading. So the reason why we follow the dollar index is because Bitcoin trades inversely to the dollar index. The dollar index goes up, Bitcoin goes down. All right. So let's talk about news. All right. First off, we have Bitcoin shattering 1 billion active addresses, right? 1 billion addresses, and that's the milestone that the Daily HODL's putting out right here. According to Glassnode, they have surpassed that 1 billion addresses mark. Now, this is just 1 billion total addresses created. It's not active addresses, but total addresses. And so I think it's less useful than active addresses, but it's still, I think, very important to point out the fact that these addresses are being created, and so we're probably going to wind up seeing an increase in activity across these addresses. But I like active addresses better, but this just kind of gives you a very broad definition to the expansion of Bitcoin and hopefully the adoption of it as well. All right. Next thing I wanted to show you guys is the report that Glassnode Insights put out. And I always try to pay attention to these reports. They always put them out every week, or sometimes they put out reports every day or so. This is the week on chain for the week 28 of 2022, and I want to just go ahead and bring this to your attention. I went through and I read through all this, so I'm going to give you the highlights here. So Glassnode has a lot of on-chain analytics that they look at, and a lot of different charts and things they're paying attention to. And this one specifically is talking about how deep the bear market will be and how pressure is building on long-term hodlers. So they talk about primarily there being a wealth redistribution. So in these bear markets that happens, you see a wealth redistribution at the absolute bottom of the bear market, where you have short-term holders sell and long-term holders buy, and there's a transference of wealth that occurs once the market moves back up again. So the short-term holders lose money, the long-term holders make money in the long term. So that's what they're trying to say here, is that there's a wealth redistribution that's also part of the bear market, and this is occurring currently right now. They're saying the peak drawdown of 75%. That's something I've talked about as well. And they're talking about this, the latest capitulation saw prices tumble another 40% to 17.6K in 2 weeks. Okay, so the Bitcoin price drawdown from all-time high. This is something I've pointed out many times here, in that the last Bitcoin bear market, the Bitcoin fell 83.6% from the highs, or about 84%. I usually just go with 84%, but it's gone down from 84% from the highs. Right now, it is only at 72%. So it has more room to fall. And again, that's 72% from the highs, and that's not from where we're at right now. So I've marked out previously at that level would be at about 10 to 11,000 or so if it fell 84%, which is what I would expect would happen in a normal bear market. So we have some room left to fall, according to what they're saying here. They talk about this price distribution between certain levels, and they can compare that to what's going on now, where you have prices that accumulate at the psychologically strong points of $20,000 and $30,000. And now, if it goes below that, you can expect to see something like $10,000 or $15,000. You'll have accumulation at those levels that'll be very strong. And now the last part, and the most important part of any bear market, is the capitulation of these so-called diamond hands, or these long-term holders. And the capitulation of long-term holders, so holders with the maximum level of conviction, that marks the bottom of the bear market. Okay. So just to kind of put things into perspective, they have a way of measuring this, and right now they're just basically saying that it has not got to that point yet. It has not gotten to the point where these long-term holders have capitulated at the level that they've seen in previous bear markets. Okay? All right. They also go over MRVR, which is the market value to the realized value, or market value divided by realized value, and that just gives you like an average, a kind of an average cost basis of all Bitcoin. So they say that, yeah, again, it's not nearly as bad as the previous bear markets. It's worse right now than the March 2020 lows. However, the previous bear markets have gone even lower and had an even lower average cost basis for a lot of these holders. Okay. Yeah, so that's some of the most important things that I found for this report. I'm gonna keep digging into it, see if I can find some more parts that I like, and I like to take important points and perspective from this. But the last part is something we've been talking about a lot here, and that's miner capitulation. And they've basically gone through and they've broken down from an analytics perspective how miners are capitulating at huge rates that we haven't seen since the bear market, the last COVID crash in March 2020, and the China ban. And so, we've already talked about it, but miners are under serious pressure right now. All right. So, in other words, the bear market still has room left to run. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you today. This is Cody the Coin Raptor signing out.